Hi, I'm Stella, and I'm the creator of Alana the Web3 Girl. Join me for a 3-part series on how storytelling in Web3 matters. Let's create an avatar and their entire story from scratch. I will guide you through various programs like DAS, Marvelous Designer, Blender, and Substance Designer as we create a virtual personality together. All 3 sessions will be 90 minutes long, and of course they will be recorded. Part 1 of the series will be on Thursday, May 26th. Come ready to share your input. Together we will be creating a mood board and write up a background story for our avatar. Then we will go into DAS and start creating from a Genesis female base. We will incorporate add-ons to shape the body and look at different possibilities to add hair. Part 2 of the series will be streamed on Wednesday, June 1st. We will start with the mood board we assembled in Part 1 and add more images and a color concept to it. We will then go back into DAS where we created our avatar and we will animate a pose specifically for our avatar. Next we will export our avatar to Marvelous Designer where we will design the garment according to the mood board and apply some basic textures to it. Part 3 of this series will be streamed on Wednesday, June 15th. In this part, we will mostly focus on rendering and achieving the best final results. We will go into Substance Designer to create a custom texture and bake all of our textures in at least 4K in Marvelous Designer. We will then export our avatar to Blender, as well as the clothing, and set up a turntable with lighting, learn how to adjust settings, and output a turntable animation.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is Pedro Guess. I'm a community manager here at the Fabricant, and I am really happy to share tonight's stage with the other community manager here at the Fabricant, my dearest Anatarian. Hello Anatarian, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Okay, well, I want to introduce Stella Achenbach. Earlier today, we were testing and I shared a story, and Pedro thought that it would be good to share since it is about storytelling today. So it's a story of how I met Stella. It was just right actually before I started working as a mod at the Fabricant. She was doing a session on the Jevils server, and she encouraged everyone to create an avatar. So I immediately wrote, I want to create one. How do I do it? Thinking, maybe we'll do an event or something. But Stella immediately sent me her Calendly and said, okay, let's set up a date. And I was so surprised that I was going to get to do a one-on-one with her. So I'm sharing this to just share who she is and how amazing she is. So I did this one-on-one with her and it was amazing. And then she invited me to join her Realms call, which is Alana's universe. And I was blown away. I've never seen such an exciting meeting, such an organized meeting, such an interesting meeting. And she just lights up the metaverse, and there's more to share, but she just does, and I'm just so excited to call her my friend, and just wonderful, wonderful person. So welcome Stella Achenbach. She's going to share with us now what she'll be sharing. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Anna. This is now a really high standard to live up to, I feel. It's nice meeting everyone here. I'm gonna brush over this very German. We're gonna start creating an avatar today, but I don't know if you guys have heard about Alana the Web3 Girl. essentially, to me, Alana is a little bit more than just an avatar. So she is not like my personification in the metaverse, but rather she is like something that's, with a growing community, she has grown to just be more than, my representation or my thoughts of what she should be. And she's become this magnet to people who are very new to the space, who come like rather from a creative background, I would say. She's also dabbled into DeFi a little bit. So she's trying to kind of merge those two worlds together. DeFi and NFTs are kind of a little bit spread apart, even though they belong very much to the same origin or to the same space. We kind of want to change that in our community. Alana is, to me, she's like a virtual personality, really. She's not an avatar. It's not a PFP you would put on just, to have a PFP. Rather, she's something that's like in constant evolvement. And so the origin of this is literally storytelling, right? Like, what's the story? I know a lot of you probably have a fashion background, right? And if you design a fashion collection, you ask yourself the same question: who's gonna wear this? Who's the person I would want to see in what I'm designing right now? So it's kind of the same with an avatar in a metaverse to me. Like, who is this avatar? Like, what's its purpose? Why is it here? Why does it even exist? And so today I want to share my process, which is obviously not the only way you can do this, right? It's just one more process from one different person on how they are doing it. I just want to, maybe I just stop babbling and just share my screen and show you guys how I did the initial stages with Alana, and then we can figure out how to do this avatar together. RDP, Ryan, do you want to say something?
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't know I was unmuted, but I appreciate you calling that out.
Oh, no, but you can say something. It's okay. This is actually something I wanted to quickly add. If you guys want to say something, want to add something, this is supposed to be kind of collaborative, right? So I don't want you to think like this is me just creating something. We can definitely create together. Would be so much cooler, so much nicer, to be honest. Heech, who is also in the audience right now, she's a Nucleus member in Alana's realm, and without her, it would not have been possible to do what we've been up to for the past 6 weeks. It's really important that I think a lot of fashion designers who come from physical fashion get out of the mindset of they have to do something on their own. So we're trying to counter that as well. Okay. Any questions so far? Probably not, but... You guys are good?
All good, and thanks for the introduction.
Sure. Edward, Studio Lindheim?
Oh, sorry, I just hopped in and my mic is still open. Hi.
Hi. Okay, I will start sharing my screen. So yeah, we're gonna essentially come up with a storyline for our new avatar or virtual personality. We're gonna write that out. We're gonna put together an initial mood board, and then we're gonna jump into DAS Studio, getting our avatar into shape. And I also want to kind of show you that you can use the assets from DAS Studio has a great asset store. I'm not saying everything is great, but they have a lot of great assets. So sometimes it really just makes more sense, time and budget-wise, to use one of their assets. And if you want to sell them as an NFT, then you just need to make sure you're buying the according license. But if it's just for you as a PFP or just, to kind of play around and get used to the idea of making avatars, and you can just use the normal asset. I'm talking specifically about hair. The other option would be making hair from scratch. I can also kind of give you an introduction what I used in the past to make hair. It is, though, a very tedious process. I cannot really recommend it if there's a way around it. but you can also do it if you want to. Okay, good. Now I stop blah blahing. I'm gonna push you guys to the other side, and let's go into Milanote. So this is essentially how I organize myself. This is like everything, which is very overwhelming. And then I have this little Alana folder, and this is everything Alana. And so how I started this is literally by composing just this Milanote board in a sense, right? I have updated it a little bit for you, but this is how I started this. And so it has, I'm gonna zoom in for you, I hope you can see this well. So, now she has a mission and a vision, and she has a Git book and all of this. Of course, she didn't have that in the beginning, right? It was just like these slides, like a profile. Alana, she defines as she, her. 21st of July, she was born in a server in my city where I'm living right now. She doesn't have siblings. Getting a life is her life highlight so far. She has a Twitter handle, Instagram, Discord, Gitbook. Alana, it's essentially like where this name comes from and what's the meaning of it, right? So I put this out. Then I wrote a little bit about her personality and physical description, habits and mannerism, and attributes. And yeah, this is how I started this. So I kind of suggest, unless you want to vote against this, we do the same thing for our version that we're going to work with in the next few weeks. You guys are good with this? It's too bad that you cannot there are no emoji reactions on Discord, no? It's too bad. So if no one complains, I will just go ahead.
That's great.
Yeah, so I made this board, and I'm going to share this with everyone, right? So you will have indefinite access to this board. And so I set up those different boards. Those are templates, so we need to fill those templates. And I would love it if you guys are helping me to fill this. So let's get like 3 ideas on what kind of female avatar you want to make today. And then we're going to try our best to merge those 3 ideas. So who's going to be first? You guys are shy.
It sounds pretty cool.
Well,
I'm just not sure how to start.
Oh. You want to go?
Hi, Jiva and 3Shay. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm not really sure what to say yet. I'm just wondering to myself how to start. How do you recommend we start?
Just like I don't know. I had in my mind maybe a coder girl, maybe something very Web3, something we would want to see in the space. But you could also say like I don't know. I really don't know.
NFT artist. NFT artist.
What?
An NFT artist.
NFT artist.
My Twitter spaces with NFT artists. I'm not an NFT artist, but
Okay.
What's the end use going to be? What's this eventually going to do?
We can define that.
Some sort.
Whatever we want.
Well, I mean, depending on what we're going to use the end product for, might define what we want. It's a radical idea, I know.
No, theoretically you're absolutely right, Vlad. But this is you can see this more as like a creative session to imagine it, right? This avatar is probably not going to do anything after this. It depends on.
Why?
It depends
If we go
on
through all
what.
this to build it, let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, this is like the storytelling behind her personality and identity.
We're having a baby, and you're just going to leave it on the side of the curb? What are you going
I
to do?
know
Leave
what-
it on a church doorstep?
we create a Twitter account and everyone has access.
This is an AI baby. So maybe gamer.
Okay, so we'll leave it on Bill Gates' doorstep. What do you got going on here?
Like a gamer, Stella, perhaps?
Okay, girl coder and gamer.
I'm sorry, it was funny.
Yeah.
And I also want to maybe throw kind of a wrench in it, and maybe she's kind of a detective too. Some kind of something's going on.
Ooh, we've got Carmen Diego's kid.
Okay, that's interesting, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna push all those under here. Okay, those are our ideas that we will start with. We don't know what this is gonna add up to. We only know she's gonna be one of Alana's friends. Okay, this is the only thing we know as of right now. Maybe she's a villain. Maybe she is not a villain. You guys are gonna help to define this.
Or not.
We don't know yet, so it's all good. That's the process. That's why we have to go through. So, let's maybe start by. So the way I would start this, right?
On Discord.
Huh? Wait.
They can't hear me.
I can hear you, Jiva, right?
Yeah, Jiva, please.
I can hear you.
Jiva, are you still there? Are you with us?
You have to unmute your mic, Jiva, so you can speak. Okay, so what's next, Stella?
Okay, yeah. Next step is, like, how I do it is just, putting those kind of keywords, right, into. I use Pinterest. I'm an old lady, so I use Pinterest. I'm sure you guys have better resources, right? But I use Pinterest, and I would just, go very random with this, like, girl coder, right? Like, what is a cliche or a coder girl, right? And then I would just pick, pictures that I think that inspire to code. Interesting. Okay, we could use that. Maybe not. Actually, let us turn this around. That might give us better results. So I would just drag essentially pictures that I think that will, help me aesthetically to define an image of that avatar, of that person. And
she's going to be futuristic, right? Real cutting edge, bleeding edge, right?
I mean, we can do that. We can do everything.
Well, I was thinking, why don't we do something along the lines of, if she's going to be coding or something, why not pull something like that looks like it came out of Minority Report, or something where she's got the gloves and she's doing it all AR in the air.
Whoa, we're in Roblox, baby. It's out. It's a motive. I go back. Oh, I got this video good.
Vlad, what are you doing?
I didn't do it.
Who was this?
I'm thinking that was somebody else. I'm thinking cyberpunk cyber ninja kind of thing, where they're doing all their stuff running in the code, and she's hacking and slashing in the code, running in augmented reality. Make her all futuristic. It'll be fun. If you're gonna do it, let's go fun with it.
Okay, fine. Let's go fun.
I want to make her too much fun for you to just abandon.
I didn't say I would abandon her. You're so mean. How did this end up as a story where I abandon a virtual personality? How did this happen?
She's an orphan. That's part of her story. She was left on a doorstep.
You're making me really feel bad. This is so mean. Guys, by the way, you're free to send me your pictures. I don't know, Anatarian, which channel the guys could use.
Yeah. Please send your pictures and your mood board inspiration on the Arcadia Events channel here on Discord. It's just like right below the events channel here. Please send all of your inspirations, the pictures that you have found on internet, maybe all of the things that you would love to share in order to co-create the avatar and this virtual personality.
Exactly. Awesome. Okay.
It's very cyberish. That's nice.
Yeah, I love cyberpunk as much as Vlad, so if you guys are not stopping me.
as part of this
hello, Stella.
maybe we could add like some of the garments that we can find out there that some other digital fashion designers have created, right? Like
Yeah.
some of your digital accessories and digital jewels that you have, right, Stella?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Awesome. Guys, imagine this.
Sorry. I wanted to ask Pedro, the images from people that have sent it to us, maybe just for this dish that Stella is working, because I have a very cool image of a project that sent me for a real person with a wearable. It looks amazing. I don't know if we can send it here or it's not the deal.
Why not? Yeah, drop it in. I wouldn't know why not. Oh, this is nice. Gonna use this.
Just because it's not mine. It's from a project that just sent me for flyers. So I don't know if it's okay.
Actually, Stella, this picture that you just shared here, Rin, who is here in the audience tonight, he shared it on Arcadia just now.
Yeah. I just dragged it out of the Arcadia events channel. So yeah, we're good there. We're good to go. Like, if you guys have something, like, you're good to go.
Yeah, what about a touch of Matrix? Like the black kind of leather outfit.
Okay. The Matrix. Ooh. This is nice, no?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Cyber implants.
Don't complain about this. You brought this up on yourself, Vlad. You wanted to see this. You wanted us to make it so exciting so that we don't abandon her. So
I put in cyber implants so she can like directly interface. Like, you know, she's got neural lace that she can jack right in.
Oh, guys, look at this stuff. This is really nice, isn't it?
I guess in her case, directly get out to the real world.
Okay.
That one too.
Nano clouds.
This one? Sorry.
One, and then there was
It looks nice.
This one is
like
nice.
cyber glass.
And the left. Or to the right.
Okay, just need to do. Oh, no. Oh. Watch again. No. Now we got it. You meant this one, right, Pedro?
Yeah, that's nice. That's very cyber goth.
Yeah, I think so too. I like this one a lot. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to make this so big. Okay.
And there was one more. Go up a little. That one, yeah.
This one?
Yeah, I like the top.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I agree.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Stella, on diversity and inclusivity in terms of a digital or virtual personality and digital identity? What are your thoughts? Like, we know that we can create like any avatar, like human or not human. So what would you say to the audience tonight in terms of diversity and inclusivity?
I mean, you guys saw Alana, right? And there's a reason why she's just a white girl. The reason is that I observed the discussion that was going on with the guy who invented pseudogram, and I thought a lot about. Honestly, like, the first intuition I had was actually making an avatar that looks very Peruvian, you know, like indigenous Peruvian. And the reason why I didn't do it was this whole discussion, because it made me realize that I don't own the right to do this, you know? I am not natively Peruvian. Like, someone from Peru should, you know, eventually make this, not me. So this is why I didn't do that. And I think that's important when we talk about inclusivity. Like, we want to make everyone heard and seen, right? And tonight we kind of have more of an opportunity to do that. But like if you're creating an avatar, I think you need to be aware of the fact that you might be exploiting someone else if you don't adhere to your own ethnicity. I think it is kind of complicated in a sense, is what I'm trying to say, I think. Java, whatever you send me, I cannot open and I cannot import. It shows up as an
Yeah, it's an
file.
interesting comment. I don't know if I can be heard.
Right? Like I'm curious, what do you guys think about this? I'm just trying to be careful and not
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I was actually in a discussion once in a Twitter space, because there was a project that was doing it was very interesting because it was a project that was trying to be like super inclusive. It's actually a project called Tribe, forget it, Tribe X.
Yeah.
And so, and they had an artist that had kind of done lots of research on tribes all around the world, like indigenous tribes all around the world, but had ultimately created their own impression of indigenous tribes. Now, it was a project that was predominantly created by people of color, and it was especially to empower people of color. And I think what didn't quite work is that that's that thing going off. So somebody actually came onto one of their Twitter spaces who was indigenous and said, "Hey guys, I get it. You're trying to do something, support people of color, but you're now encroaching on and almost exploiting indigenous people." And it was like the project wasn't really aware that that was a problem at all.
Yeah.
Because of course they thought they were doing something great. So that's my example of saying, yes, it can get very complicated. But I did want to ask, I mean, if I wanted to make an avatar of a woman, you could almost say that why should I be able to do that? Because I'm not a woman, so that could be a problem in itself. And yet I don't feel like it would necessarily be a problem, but maybe that's because we accept that that's a barrier that's not a problem,
Yeah.
Like I said, my elf is right out, I guess. I'll never be able to be an elf.
There you go.
Or a goblin, or a troll. Well, actually, a troll I could probably do just fine. I play a pretty good imitation of a troll.
Yeah, but so fictional characters, we agree is okay.
It's also not about not doing it, right? But it's definitely, I think the important part is being aware of it. Being aware that you might hurt someone doing this unconsciously. Like you just described, right? Like the guys in that project weren't even aware that this could be a thing. So I think that's the danger. The danger is not necessarily doing this. The danger is not knowing or being kind of a little bit blind about that you might hurt someone with this. I think that's more of a problem.
My takeaway from that project from that Twitter space, was the people came in to ask, all they asked is, have you discussed this with somebody indigenous?
Yeah.
So I felt that they would have been happy if the answer had been, yeah, we've talked to actually indigenous people, we've got their input, because that's what they really were trying to find out. Have you actually got somebody's input on these images you're creating to say, yes, that is an accurate, depiction of this tribe or something like that. So I think I think it's okay, but it definitely helps if you go out of your way to get input from. So if you're going to create an avatar of another culture, let's say, that you go out of your way to get information to make sure, okay, am I depicting the culture correctly, or could there be a problem with the way I'm depicting this culture?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a fine bridge between cultural appropriation and admiration. So, Stella, just keeping on with this, we have this mood board that will help us to co-create the avatar, right?
Yeah, I think we're good, no?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we are good with this. It's very cyber god-ish. And yeah, I think the idea is clear.
The idea is clear. I think so too. Actually, let me put this one in here. Okay.
Can I just ask, what's this application you're using?
Oh yeah, it's called Milanode. I think by now, like, Milano should seriously start paying me because I'm convincing everyone to use this. It is so nice and easy to use, and I'm gonna drop the link for you guys into the Arcadia events channel. This is it. And yeah, you can. So the really cool part is if you drag down a new board and you enter it, you can actually search for templates, right? Sorry, now I went out of this. I don't know why. So you can search for templates, and you can be even like a storyboard, for example, right? You want to create a video storyboard, and I will give you like a template that you can fill out. You don't have to, with this, I feel you don't have to overthink stuff, or a story map, or like even for, I don't know if they have some, fashion storyboard, for example, right? Fashion mood board. And then you say keep example content, and you can just fill it in, and you can, do copies of the color swatches. And I don't know, this is like one of my favorite FFE6EA. This is like one of my favorite colors, right? So yeah, you can kind of make a very collaborative process out of this. So as sorry if I'm jumping too much. You guys will let me know if this is too much jumping. But so for what we're doing with Alana, we set up this ginormous mood board, and we're not going to show you guys in all detail, but this is like the work board, and here are like a lot of like huge design and drawings in here, tests from Zoe about a talking mirror that has crystals on it, color definition, texture ideas. I like he designed this, but then I translated it into a map texture, which then looks somewhat like this, right, in Substance Designer. So on these boards you have a lot of opportunity to really collaborate in depth on your projects. So we've been using this a lot in and for Alana, and I also for my other projects. So it's a great tool. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Thank you so much, Stella, for sharing this on the Arcadia channel. And also thank you, Habo. Thank you, Rin. Thank you, Mismo. And thank you, Rin, again, for sharing all of your inspirations here on the same channel. And yeah, let's continue.
Okay, I just got this last entry from Javo. Cannot ignore Javo. I'm not sure how we make this fit, but we will probably find a way. So
it's our avatar's PK.
It's the pajama. Okay, what's the day outfit then? It's crazy cool. Okay, now we know we got actually more of what I would say, like from all of those four, we got more onto actually probably a sci-fi girl, right? Sci-fi girl coder / gamer, maybe, right? And maybe a detective, right? Maybe she's a cyber detective. So we got a little bit closer through the visuals. I'm gonna delete those out, and we have now a little bit more of a definition. So what could be her name? What's her name?
Studio Linde is he, she. They are perfect for this sort of names and titles. Please, Studio.
Oh, don't put the pressure on me. But if something pops up, I will.
What? You don't have a name? Okay.
Not yet.
Anything? Otherwise, I show you how I do this stuff.
Well, I would try.
Yeah.
I would try and come up with a play on either a tech term or something of that. I mean, she's going to be an AI or artificial person, I guess, would probably be a better thing. So what would be a good tech term that you could use a feminine diminutive of to make a sound that, or possibly a, you know, dead language root word that you could use that would mean something that would, you know, be vaguely tech-ish. I mean, obviously it's not tech, but you know, why instead of Wi-Fi, it's, you know, speaks over the wind or something of that nature in Swahili or in Welsh or in, you know, whatever language that isn't used in common parlance, so that it won't sound that way. I do that sometimes for my novels.
Yeah, that's a really great idea.
Vlad.
Can we do a play on Solidity, which is a program?
There you go.
Web3?
Oh no, perfect.
But I couldn't think of a good play on that. Yeah.
And maybe some numbers like 007, but more sci-fi.
Oh, guys, you're such a good crowd. Okay, I'm gonna like Solidity.
I have the name. She's called Snarky.
Snarky? Nah. No, what the hell, Ed?
Take these off Sally. Solidity.
Sally?
Sounds more like a salad dressing.
Like so? Like so?
Haba.
Haba? Like this? Maybe I should make this all a little bit bigger so you guys can actually tell what I'm writing. Haba
You
like
brought
this?
that name, so we can call it Java. Yeah, it's like JavaScript, so it's kind of
Java.
the mood, you know.
Okay, I see. No, I see what you're saying, Abo. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to
ZK solid.
call it Java like JavaScript. But if you make the H, if you make the J pronounced like the Spanish do, call her Java, which Java is actually Hebrew for Eve.
It's Hebrew for what?
Eve. That's Adam and Eve. Java, Eve.
If, yeah.
So if you spell it Java, pronounce it like the Spanish Java.
Okay.
It's a derivation of the Hebrew Eve.
Maybe Arcadia.
I'm liking the Hava though. That's a really cool name.
Okay, so I guess Java.
By the way, that's not mine. That's
Java with an H. Java.
Java and Web3, Java, Web3. They don't really go together, right?
Alana and Java. Java DT. Java DT. 011. Not 911. 911.
Well, or if not a number, what's or .888? That
Dot?
way, when you actually insert it, see it, make sure it's not already taken. Somebody go out to what's that, unstoppable domains or whatever, real quick, and just make sure it's not already taken.
I don't think this will ever be taken.
It is.
Well, it's Java. It's also coffee.
Okay, so.
But I was just thinking, .888. There's your tie-in, and it also makes it real quick and easy. It's a cool thought, anyway.
How about something like this?
Java DT.
X11.
X11. Okay.
But it was like.
Shi-Fi.
What?
Somebody brought the name Shi-Fi. It sounds quite good, you know, Shi-Fi.
Shi-Fi? Like
Like
this?
sci-fi, but Shi-Fi. Yes. Yeah, like sci-fi, but Shi-Fi. Somebody wrote it on the Arcadia.
Like
Oh.
C5, like
Really?
sci-fi, like
Hey, let me
pi.
Well, it's like DeFi, right? It's like DeFi.
Like
rhymes
pi,
with-
Yeah.
pi, all yeah, it works.
Yeah, the machine is just shared that. Shi-Fi.
I like this. This is great. Okay.
Snarky.
So,
Shi-Fi.
what are we gonna get rid of? Everything else? Or are we gonna leave it up for now? Or are we gonna combine it? We can decide. We don't have to decide now. Okay, next
I
is
really love Shi-Fi, yeah.
obviously.
I think without the dash. I think Shifa has to be without the dash. Like,
26.
so it's like DeFi.
Just like this?
Yeah, also like it is like the project, the AR fashion project that is called Extended Identity. What's called She, XI. So it could be like XI, like she file, like but in like XY, XE. Have you seen that project? It's like AR fashion project. It's like super dope.
No, I haven't seen this. You wanna put it in the Arcadia events channel so we can look at it?
Okay, let me get it. But the name is Extended Identity, and they go like she. So she file could be instead of SHE 5, she 5, something like that. I don't know.
Okay, you want to put it in the Arcadia channel so I know what you're trying to say. I'm so sorry.
Okay, parents, everyone.
Okay, so you're saying, okay, someone is saying Fabia instead of this. And then there is Java from Javo. And Javo said, hello, don't take too many turns on this. Okay, Javo is getting impatient. That's not what we want. So the question is, I'm just going to leave it up for now. Okay, we can always get back to this. This doesn't have to be like a one-on-one process, right? We can go back to this. There's no harm done, trying to say. Okay, so is she going to be born today, or was she born in the past, or will she be born in the future?
That's really interesting. What do you guys think?
Today.
Is she her parent, like some black or like, you know, the universe? I don't know. I think.
Catherine, you broke up a lot. What did you want to say?
Wait, you can't hear me?
We can hear you, but your audio is cutting out at the end.
Yeah. You need to speak in a consistent
Run.
manner. Try.
I think she's born in the future. She's got a really cyber aesthetic, and maybe her tech isn't ready for us yet.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Could be still today, right? But maybe it's in 2334.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Why do you need to attach her to the time? You know, she can be a timeless being, you know, time that she desires, like 4D beings.
Yeah.
They can go to the past, to the present, and the future in the same time. So you don't need to attach her any time.
We don't have to. It just, sometimes I feel it helps. If it's just like a fluid being, then I feel it will be hard to make her relatable in a sense, or to bring her into context later on. This is why I like to attach her time. But obviously we don't have to. Any more opinions on this? Otherwise, we move to parents, because that's going to be super interesting.
Everyone. Web 3 and Web 2.
I pinned down the Extended Identity Twitter so you can check it. And I can say that Vlad will be a perfect dad for it.
I think I caught what Catherine, the worst.
Oh no, I've already got my share.
You're like her dad. Mom is everyone else.
God, is that possible in the future?
Who knows? Who knows? Alatarian,
Actually, with genetic engineering at its current state, it's possible. Now it's just not horribly ethical.
Yeah, it's, you're not wrong.
I
about
like
this.
the idea of like a planet being, you know, the parents or even the siblings being a planet or a star or something.
Yeah, that's very romantic.
That's very nice.
Siblings and mom.
I was inspired by what the bit I heard of what Catherine said.
Oh, that's what Catherine said. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Let's make her mom and dad stars. Well, do we want to relate to real stars, or do we want to make up stars? Any opinions? So I don't know if you know
Well,
this, guys, but the reason why we named Alana's Chateau Arendelle is actually because it's the farthest star that we know of, and it was only just discovered. It was discovered in 2022 by the Hubble Space Telescope. That's why Alana's Chateau is called Chateau Arendelle. So we love connecting stuff to stars, and we can just go on with this. The Cetus constellation has a lot more to offer, I believe. What do you guys think? Look, we have Mira, we have Seti, right?
Maybe we could have the Orion constellation instead. Like all of the stars are part of the Orion.
Orion constellation. Okay, Orion constellation. Let's have a look. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, look at this one. Rig Veda. This is nice.
We can get the Metatron's cube for be the dad, you know, the parent, or the Metatron, the creational Metatron of the consciousness.
You guys are really digging in here, okay? Okay, wait,
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow up with the chat as well. If you use Shi-Fi with a 1, then Shi-Fi Ease is still available. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Shi-Fi 1. Thank you, 3Chain. Web 3000. Oh, Web 3000 could be. Okay, that's a nice one. 3Chain. Web 333, yes, the universe. Or a black hole. I'm rendering, so it's noisy right now. Okay. A black hole is a nice idea. Also, this. Whoa! This is the whole Milky Way. Metatron. Okay, fine. Vlad was just renamed as Dad is Metatron. I assume. Javo. And Mom is a constellation of stars, right? Javo's freaking out right now. Metatron Vlad. Okay, fine. Vlad is still available in here. This is so much fun. Oh my god, I could do this for hours. I'm sorry. I know we need to move on. But, so...
Should we just... if the Mom is the Milky Way?
Catherine says Andromeda. Or we just use the entire constellation and we use Andromeda, who we have to still design, as a sibling. Okay, I think we're good. We have this. So let's dive into the characteristics. And I think we kind of have decided for this, right? This is it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Super. So, what is this being about? Like, is she serious? Is she sensitive? Is she energetic? Is she shy? Is she... Oh, Barbie just came in. Hi. Hi, Barbie. What do you guys think? What is she about? If we look at our mood board...
I think she's like she's inquisitive, like an explorer. I don't think shy.
Maybe inquisitive and engaging, no? That could be something. And then she's probably very observant, I think.
Maybe philosophical.
Ah, okay. Observant and philosophical. Okay. We gotta write this out. We don't have to do this now, but we gotta write this out. Whoever feels they have the skills to write those out, go ahead. And
please share it on the Arcadia channel.
Yeah, exactly. I changed my screen to just seeing the Arcadia channel now, guys. So I'm keeping track of what you're putting in there. And actually, maybe also for you guys to have the reference in the future, I'm just gonna post those links we took as a reference in here, because I think they're very nice to keep, right? This one, and we had another one, the Orion constellation. I'm going to put this in. Another good part about using Milanote is that you can just make screen captures very easy, and you can kind of export this in like different formats, and then you can use it, or I'm using it a lot to make videos, or just, you know, to share my workflow, or put up a mood board quick on ArtStation, stuff like this. I think it's really interesting. Okay. I think maybe next we should get to this part. So where does she begin, right? I know one of you said maybe let's not put like a time point on it, but I feel it's just gonna make stuff a little bit easier for us to define. We can take it out after we've defined everything else. Sorry. But I think in the beginning it's really nice to have this like time reference. So the question is, does she begin like in the sense of being born as like, you know, as you would perceive a human being born, in the sense of, you know, she starts as like a little child or a kid or a mini robot, right? It doesn't matter right now what exactly. Or is she like Alana? Alana was born into the form she is in right now. She never had a childhood. That's part of her story. She was minted into existence, Fomo Escobar said.
Yeah, maybe she fell to earth in like a kind of a capsule when she's in her late teens, something like that, or early 20s. So then you don't have to go through the complexities of growing up. But I mean, it explains how she got here.
I thought, I don't know if you followed the avatar that's called Lil Michaela, but I thought it was quite nice that they recovered this memory drive of her childhood years. It was kind of a cool twist in the story, because everyone thought she was just born into existence, but then it turned out she really wasn't. It was kind of a cool twist. Did anyone follow this storyline?
Where was that from?
No, but that sounds cool.
Right? Maybe she discovers her origin and former years. Because, you know, like if we really think about this, Metatron Dad was just like the representing like the technology part, and then you have the stars, and then you have this observant and philosophical characteristics in her, right? So maybe she kind of thinks that she was minted into existence, but then she discovers her origin and former years throughout the story, you know, that we are telling with her. Maybe it's not quite as simple as just being minted into existence. Maybe this is just the beginning, and then we make it more complex. The question is, what does she turn into? Does she turn into a cyber detective that then runs for office as a president and then takes over the world?
Well, I like that Alana is here to educate us about Web3.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of cyber detective for SheFi.eth. You know, kind of like tracking down the scammers, and maybe like there's a backstory of how, you know, her origin story had to do with like her family falling apart because of scammers or something.
That is good.
Yeah. Just throwing that idea out there.
Okay. Fine. That brings us to the backstory. Did anyone add something about she's a vigilante? Okay. So she's not official. Fine. Or is this like a secondary identity? The machine is Jess. It's like, does she have two identities? Like by day, right? And then by night. And then she's a vigilante.
Well, I think like everyone in Web3, she has to have an Anon account, right?
Yeah.
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 So maybe,
So,
guys, we actually needed to have those two names, remember? Maybe we needed to have those two names.
Yeah.
Okay. We're like developing this crazy storyline here. It's gonna be really fun. I'm just I think I want to place her next. So if she's like part of Alana's world, right? Is she a primary character? Is she a supporting character? What do you guys think? I already have made up my mind on this, and but just
I think
interested.
supporting. What do you?
You already made up your mind to abandon her. I don't even want to talk about it.
No, I think she's one of the primary characters. She's essentially like, I don't know if you guys know this website. Do you know Rugdog.io? It's essentially a community project that identifies rug pulls and projects that are running at high risk. And I'm actually going to put this into the Arcadia channel as well if you guys want to have a look at this. And kind of reminds me of, like if we would give someone the identity, like if we would make an avatar for Rugdog, right? This is, I think, what reminds me of what we're doing here right now. This could be, the avatar kind of running stuff for them, essentially. So I think she's a primary
looks for bad actors and rugs in the Web3 space.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing such a good job, and the girl, I listened to her on a Bancor Twitter Spaces recently, who's running this project, and she is, oh my god, she's so knowledgeable, just so good. Like you have to go and listen to her if she's ever on the Twitter Spaces again. I don't know if the community themselves, if they are making Twitter Spaces like this, but yeah, definitely very much recommended. Okay, so I guess she's part of this now. Sorry guys, like it's been decided. I'm gonna take this one away from you. She's a primary character. Okay, now I need your help. Like I can write this out later. We don't have to do this now from everything that you've said so far. But I definitely need your help for the quirks and flaws of our character. So, what makes her special? Deleting everything else. Also, hey, there are so many people here. Hi guys.
That could be that she's very genuine and engaging. We already said engaging, right, with people, and that is at the same time can be a bit of a flaw because the risk can be that she's doesn't want to believe that somebody's a bad actor, right? She goes her kind of standpoint is that somebody's a good actor unless if they prove themselves otherwise, and that can be maybe a little bit of a flaw. Although maybe that's pretty bad flaw for somebody doing her job, so I don't know.
But I like that because maybe that's why she got rugged, or she, or her, ancestors got rugged or something.
Yeah.
So she can help she can help people out because she knows how it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good.
I also was thinking maybe some kind of flaw where, she's, one character by day, one character by night. But like there's something happens where they can read her mind and or her thoughts, but she needs to keep that hidden to keep her identity or something like that. Maybe somehow her clothes or something kind of are attached to her brain, and there's glitches sometimes where her thoughts show up on her clothes.
That's great, Anna.
That's pretty deep, yeah. Nice.
Clothes are attached to her central memory and, Anna, sorry, can you help me with the rest of the sentence?
And sometimes that something happens sometimes where there's some kind of glitch, and like the thoughts that she doesn't want to appear on her clothing. And so that can be problematic, especially if she's, going undercover.
She's memorized her seed.
Like the seed phrase. Oh my god, yeah. Fine.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that would be hilarious. We can actually make that texture. That's gonna be so much fun. Okay. Okay, so okay. What else? What else can we figure out from this? Is she moody? Is she sometimes a little bit moody or annoyed?
Yes. Yes, she is. She looks like.
Does she have like a need for some kind of substance? Maybe it's like chocolate and it doesn't exist, in her realm or something. I don't know.
Maybe weed.
For Alana, I invented blockchain candy, so we need to invent something different.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, maybe she loves that too.
Or she wants caffeine of some sort, and she can't get it because she's virtual now.
Blockchain coffee.
And that fits with her name, Java.
I mean, okay, we can also do that. I wanted to draw a connection to Alana, if you guys want to. That, because Alana is essentially like the manufacturer of blockchain candy, right? So I was like, okay, maybe she bugs her all the time because she wants that.
Yeah. Or maybe that's how she gets paid with candy.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, why not? You're laughing about this.
I love it.
But we had this before. Like this was one of the first ideas on how we would call the governance token for Alana.
Oh,
candy, blockchain candy. It's I had a whole definition for that up on the Git book at some point, but then we withdrew it because it didn't make sense at the time. Okay, so she gets paid. Yeah, why not? She gets paid in blockchain candy. Maybe from Alana. Maybe Alana is one of her, allies to, I don't know, to
Alana is her
find
pimp.
those rugs, right? What?
Alana is her pimp, and she's always a little bit annoyed when she don't get that much candy from her.
Oh god, this is getting very
bad. Actually, we can change her name. Instead of Havaditi, maybe Canditi. Canditi.
Oh.
Canditi. Yeah, because she's obsessed with candies.
Yeah, and candid, is like truth, and that's her flaw and also her gift. I like it.
Okay. Okay, fine. One more thing. Come on, guys. One more thing. We need one more thing to give this like a rounded edge. Okay. Oh God. Okay. One time I'm not looking at the chat. She has 12 pets. Catherine, are you fucking serious? Okay, fine. She has 12 pets. Do we know what kind of pets? By no language and by all the same time. By all at the same time. She can speak in multiple coding languages at the same time. Okay. Yeah, this is cool.
Maybe as she's speaking the code, it like compiles and executes immediately.
Yeah, it's between here and clothing her. Okay. Just to be all over the royal. Okay, that I'm gonna put this into the board. She get her intel and communicate with through the unified field. Okay. Okay. She is the Thorid where all starts and where all ends. Okay. I will put this in to make this into a real text. I put this in. Candidity. Okay, this is even better, I guess. Okay, poor pets. Well, it's 12 of them. Maybe they are micro pets. Then maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. Okay, do we have one more quirk or flaw? Maybe thinking more in the direction that she has like those two identities, right? I think that makes it easier to think in that way, like, you know. Who said something? She has never laughed, has no concept of humor, but learns later in life. That's really, really good. Awesome. Okay, copy paste it in, guys. We're getting ready here. So, I think we're good. We're good for now. We obviously this I will Pedro, how do you want me to do this? Because I will refine this, right? Should I just take a video of when I do this and then we add it later on? Whatever is not happening like during our session. Pedro, are you still here?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you like to record the things that you are doing, like until next tutorial.
Yeah, because I want to refine those things, and maybe I can just record while I'm doing this, so it's more complete. It's just more transparent. What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And if you can share it on their Arcadia so people can like submit their comments and questions maybe, and maybe they could have like something interesting to it, just like as a final final details on it, so we can like continue next week with the upcoming agenda.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think that's a good idea. Okay, cool. So next step is obviously we have to go in DAS and have to find a way to make her. So let's try and do that. Has everyone here like used DAS before, or is this like a completely foreign experience?
It's new for me.
It's new for you?
DAS?
Yes. I'm not sure what other people have been doing, but yeah.
Okay.
So happy it is intro.
Okay, cool. So let's do the intro. No.
My first experiment was pretty embarrassing.
You want to share? triggering
No,
you.
most certainly you're not.
So DAS is a really great software, and it's you can essentially use it for free. It's not open source. There's a huge difference, right? But yeah, you can install this for free. I recommend you to install the DAS Central first, because it's just such a it's a much easier to use interface. And then from here on, you can install the DAS Studio application. If you want to, you can install Hexagon. It's also within their suite, which is a free 3D modeling software. But I will always recommend you to install Blender for that stuff. And also, they actually have a DAS to Blender bridge that I'm going to show you. So you don't really have to manually export to Blender to do your final renderings, which is like part 3 of this whole series we are doing. So once you install DAS Central, and you're probably eventually gonna buy stuff on their shop, right? If my internet would be working, that would be really good. Okay, so like I said, they have a ton of assets, right? I know that a lot of people are using DAS also for their final renders, because it's seemingly more easy, right? And also it has a iRay rendering engine, which looks very nice. No doubt about that. But if you want to move your stuff eventually somewhere else, or you want to do more advanced things, I think the way to go is not to render in DAS Studio. But this is just me. Tons of other examples who are doing it this way, so there's nothing wrong with it, right? So you would you would make your free account on here, right? You would download the initial application, install the DAS Central. DAS Central actually has, I think, its own site. Let me introducing DAS Central. So I'm gonna put this into the Arcadia Events channel. Oh yeah, thank you, Pedro. So yeah, I would go with the DAS Central first, and then install from in there the DAS application. The DAS isn't the best for me. Any tips? Why is it not the best? What's not working? Catherine, you want to tell us?
Let's see if you could hear me now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay, awesome. So I've talked to other people about this, and it's not just me, but I will send it to Blender, and then either just like the skins won't be right, or like the hair isn't right, the pose isn't right, and that's why I've kind of given up on here. The next two things I mint, you will see why. And I did something, it looks cool though.
Okay.
I'm just like, I don't know, man, hair doesn't like me, so yeah, the hair never looks good, but nothing looks good, so
okay.
That's my experience.
No, that's something we're going to go through in the third part, because it's so what Catherine says is absolutely true. Depending on the assets you're using, right? So if you're using a hair from the content store, and depending on how that hair was set up, it will come out very differently in Blender. So you will actually need to go into the shader system in Blender and tweak it a little bit, and then it will work. I had the same thing yesterday when I, made sure everything is working well, and I used a bridge with a Genesis 8 female avatar, and it turned into, it just had transparent skin. And I was like, well, that's not what I was going for. So I went into Blender and I set the textures essentially right, and then everything was fine. So yeah, definitely you need to tweak, but you will definitely also get a better translation skin-wise and hair-wise if you use a bridge, because it's going to create Uber shaders for you within Blender automatically. If you do it manually, you will have to set up every single image texture, which is of course a lot of work, right? But even worse, most of the time it won't come out very nice. So it's better to use the bridge and then start tweaking like the different shaders for like skin, like face arms, legs, all of them have like different shader attached to it. Yeah. Catherine, we have to talk. I can show you how to do this.
Okay, I'm down.
Awesome. Okay, so anyhow, this is what DAS is, right? And so I already opened it here. So I'm gonna show you guys. So I already opened it here. It has a very not super appealing user interface. That's without a doubt also very true in my opinion. But it lets you do a lot of stuff, and it lets you do a lot of stuff for free. The alternative to this software is one that I'm using now because, well, Alana has become very important. So now I'm using actually something that's called Character Creator by Reallusion. And it is an absolutely amazing software, and it has like a lot of things attached to it, as you can tell. But it is also very expensive to just get started with something. So, you know, if you're like not trying to do this right now super professionally, like we have this artist in the space, I'm sure you've heard of her. She's called Jessica James. She really does avatar creation like no one else, and like she's highly specialized in this. And so, you know, if she had this software, that would make a lot of sense. But if you want to use this to, you know, just get started and explore avatars, I suggest you keep this like simple and mostly cost-free at least. Okay, was that good enough? Ryan? Was it okay?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So if you're in here, you have something that's called Smart Content on the left side. And in the beginning, you need to install those things, okay? So they are not automatically necessary in here. You have to install those basics. But the Genesis 8 female avatar and male avatar, they are always they are like a free package. So the only thing you need to do is go to the Install tab, go to Figures, and essentially go right-click and say Install. Of course, I have already installed them, so I don't need to do this, and I can just drag and drop this in here. Yippee! So this is essentially our base avatar that we get to work with. And so if you go into the right outline, so this is where you can take control of all the different elements that you're going to load in. And very important is that if you close this down, everything is under Genesis 8 female. That means it's parented to the actual avatar, right? If, like, let's say the eyelashes would be outside of this, then the eyelashes would no longer be parented to the actual avatar. Okay, that's very important to know. So you have the avatar here, right? And then you have like all of those tabs here. So parameters is literally the parameters of the of the avatar. Okay, so if the avatar is selected, we can, you know, move her through these parameters. We can move her here, we can move her up and down, we can rotate her, right? We can do all sorts of things. Obviously, none of this is actually what we want to do now, so I'm just going to put her back. Then you have the shaping tab. This is a very important tab, and we will go further into it in a bit. You have something that's called face transfer. So you could potentially use your own face to map onto a Genesis avatar face. Very nice function. Does it work all the time? No, it doesn't. But it's a very nice function. Then you have the posing tab. You have the surface tab, which essentially translates to surfaces. So you can, you know, change like all the parameters of the skin here. And by the way, up here, you can see, like, you can you can view her essentially in different in different states. So you can look at her in wireframe. You will see she's quite high poly for an avatar, right? So this is something we have to consider maybe later on, depending where we want to bring her in. You know, smooth shaded, right? Then it's without any color. What I had is texture shaded because it gives me like a little bit of an impression, but it's still gonna be fast. So depending what kind of computer you have, you would want to use this. It's good enough to, you know, kind of identify where everything is because it has color, but it's not gonna take you to a crazy point where, for example, if I put on NVIDIA iRay, then, you know, I can see her essentially in rendered preview, and then it's gonna keep matching her. But that's you know, not very nice to your computer to keep this turned on. So if you don't have like a super crazy powerful machine, I suggest you don't do it. Or just to review stuff. Then you have cameras and lights. We're not going to use those because we're going to take her eventually out of here to Blender, and we're going to render her in there. Okay. So something that I'm using, I want to show you, and then we have to go back to shaping, is this add-on. And it's an add-on that I think it's really worth investing into if you want to do more of this stuff. And then it would be nice if my internet would be working. Sorry. Pedro, or who else? Who wants to say something? Schultz? Is this you? Fomo Escobar? Are you guys, do you want to say something? So this is the add-on that I use. It's really nice because it gives you a lot of control over the body form. So you might want to check this one out. I'm trying. How are you? Oh, is Hafid here? Hafid, are you here? Hafid, hey.
Hola.
I didn't hear you, but it's so great to have you here. Buenas, okay, cool. So yeah, this is an add-on that I use. I think it just gives you more control over the shape of the body, right? I mean, in our case, we probably want to go for something like this, I would assume, because she's a detective and she's a vigilante and all of that stuff. So yeah, let's just, you know, hop in and start working with this. We will not be able to finish, I can already tell by the time, but we might as well start. So what do you guys think? What do you guys want to see? Morphing her body in a different shape, or what should we do first, because we're running out of time, because I'm so slow. I'm so slow.
Yeah, so maybe more muscles.
Okay. Let's try muscles. I actually have no idea. I've never done muscles. So you have this. You have up here. You have the search function, right? And hi, Hafid. And you can essentially search for different things that you can change in the body of the avatar. So how is this called in English? Like if people have a six-pack here. It's not called six-pack. There is is this abdomen? Now I'm running out of... Pedro, you're better at English.
It's usually called abs.
What?
You're talking about a washboard abs.
Abs?
Yeah, abs.
Oh, okay, it doesn't show. It probably has like a very accurate scientific name or something not at all. Okay.
Do you think it's like the stomach area?
Yeah, I would think so. So we have the general actor. So we can also look into that. Look, like we have bodybuilder details. Ooh. How about this? We have that.
Yeah.
Face, eyes. We can change the eyes. That's actually very nice. You guys were saying, right, that she maybe is a little bit different, and we can obviously model a lot of stuff in Blender later on, but we can also change like the eyes in here. So could be something to consider. That's what I'm trying to say. Can even make square pupils, whoever wants square pupils. And This is actually ridiculous. And we can make, oh, look at this. How about those eyes?
Pretty reptilian.
It's like an infinity loop. Can I do this without getting punished?
Yeah, she looks like a mother.
Yeah, not yet very close to what we want her to look like. I'm aware. Okay. I don't know if any of you have seen the gluten autonomy. This is actually not what we want. If any of you have seen the video that I made a time lapse of Alana. So this is the part that takes like the most time. It takes like up to a day to, really get this where you want it to go. Because you can change everything. You can change every little detail here, right? While this is like super cool in one sense, it also just like you can change like how the shin bone looks like, right? You can make it look like this, for example. I think that could be even nice, but it means you have to tweak around a lot. It just takes a lot of time. So yeah, I will not be able to do this right now, but I will definitely take a video of when I'm doing this, so you guys can review it, and then give your comments and be like, this seems a little bit like not good enough, or maybe we should tweak that or tweak this. So you guys want to tell me like some things that you think that are very important to add? Also, never add nipples. I did this. It's not a good idea. Okay? Like, unless you want her to run around naked, don't do this to your fellow fashion designers who have to dress her, because it's getting very complicated if she has nipples. Just saying. Does she have long nails? Does she have short nails? Does she have square nails? Maybe she has square nails. I don't know. Okay, I'm checking the Arcadia channel.
Is there an option to just like randomize the features? You can just like generate a completely randomized set of everything, and then look at it and go, oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. So you don't have to kind of create everything from scratch.
That would be really nice, no? I don't think, like, I know for a fact that it doesn't exist within DAS, but maybe there's an add-on for it, right?
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't.
Maybe we can build one.
Composition, second skin, shape gen. Ooh, maybe this is a thing. I kind of like to have control over things, but I'm sure not everyone wants to have that. I put this, so advanced randomizing morph system. You can do that. It's a thing. Woohoo!
It'd be a good way to get a base start, because then you're not starting from neutral and then having to adjust everything. You at least get a random so that you're tweaking from.
So it's unique, right? So you've probably got something a little bit unique. I mean, that's the idea.
No, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it makes it more natural, because while I won't say nature rolls the dice, let's be honest, most of us are real freaks. I mean, I look in the mirror every morning.
I don't know. I'm a huge fan of doing this. It just takes time. That's the only. It also really depends on how much do you care, right? In a sense, like if you need a fast avatar output, right? Then you also don't need to do like this whole story thing or whatever. It's not really necessary, right? But I don't know. I honestly, but I'm a tedious person. I like stuff like this. So.
And how much you trying to go for a look that you have in your mind, and how much is just trying to divert from the standard because you don't want it to look like an out of the box avatar? Do you really have like a body image in your mind that you're trying to create?
Yeah, kind of. I assume, right, from what she does, she's a vigilante, but she's also still like cyber detective. So I would assume she's like half of the time she's running around and needs to be very sportive, but then the other half not very much, right? So I want her to be like a sturdy body type. Like she cannot be too slender and she cannot be too skinny, right? And especially not in her legs. So that's like something.
Muscular.
Then I think if you're like us, right? I don't know. You can see my. So do you see this? Can you see this like fold in my neck? I don't know if you can see it, but there is a fold in my neck. It comes from me looking like this most of the time of my life, Okay. So this is when this suddenly started to happen. The same as with my back position, right? I'm a lot in front of a screen. My arms are most of the time in the front. So, you have this like certain position of your body. And I would want to try and emulate parts of it, but not make it like over exaggerated. Just, shoulders are probably more to the front than they are to the back. Stuff like this. So yeah, I think I have a body image. Don't you?
Yeah, how the body
does she have any issues? Does she?
What?
Sorry,
does she have any issues? Because it's all cyber. She can reset to 0 every single second if she wants to.
She could, but if you make her, so when I did create the story around Alana, I'm gonna drag you guys back to my screen here. I thought like it would be nice to make something that's not completely out of this world, because if you do it, it becomes very unrelatable. It's still fantastic, right? And it could be still fashionable and everything, but then like how relatable can that avatar be, So we can go completely insane and like just make the most beautiful being that we've ever seen and just perfect, right? Just like she was carved from marble, literally. But then doesn't she become very unrelatable, So like we discussed, where did he go? Oh, he's gone. But like we discussed with the quirks and flaws in the story, I think it's kind of important to also manufacture some quirks and flaws into the body types. We're always talking in fashion about diversity and, how diversity should be more seen as beautiful, right? So if she's sitting in front of a screen or managing, cybersecurity in some format, then probably that translates to how she manages her body as well. But she's not doing this all the time. Part of the time she is cyber detective, maybe running around the street as a vigilante at night. So she also needs to have some muscle build up. So I think if we can manage to kind of incorporate bits and pieces of both worlds, then we make her actually very interesting. I hope that made sense.
Absolutely. Her body can match her identity, right? Her personality.
Yeah, exactly. If we just make her pretty, we can also do that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense, right? Like it's part of the communication, of the visual communication that we want to share with the world.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably the difference between just doing an avatar or doing a virtual personality. I think that brings it quite to the point.
I shouldn't get in the middle of this because this is actually one of the deepest arguments that sci-fi authors have right now, because science is getting so, what is coming is so unrelatable to what we currently think, that when you put it into writing, even your sci-fi geeks go, oh, they'll never do that for 100 years. We already have prototypes of that. No.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's mind blowing. It's
No.
true. But I mean,
I should shut up and leave this alone now. You're probably better off at getting in touch with the people. I was getting us more technically accurate as to what would actually be able to be done with a virtual person. So I will shut up because you are probably better off at this one.
no, that's not true, Flat. I'm always better off if you say
seriously.
stuff.
The purpose of this is to relate to people, and so you are right in the purpose of it. I should not be getting in the middle of it. I just wanted you to realize this is real thing that the author community deals with on a regular basis. So you're not the only one that has this.
Yeah, I can imagine. Also, you're still her father, Flat. Now and forever.
Luke, I am not your father.
I also think, Stella, the character, you talk about a deeper layer of character, and if you bring this in to make a stronger, you create a bridge to relate to it as a human being, and it is already a virtual character. So, but it has a function for fashion. So, character is actually, I think, very important. Then.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, what do you think? I think we're like over time, and I don't want to keep you guys in here any longer. I will continue working on this, and I will record this, and then send the whole video to Pedro and to Anna so they can upload it.
Perfect, Stella. Yeah, thank you so much. Also, if you could share like some of the recordings that you're going to record on the Arcadia channel, that would be great, so people
I will.
and the community can like share their feedback and comments and questions. I think there will be many of them. And thank you so much again. Thank you all of you who joined us tonight.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna. Would you like to say something before we wrap up?
Sure. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, everyone, for making this so much fun. I had a great time.
Me too.
I hope all of you did too. I'm looking forward to more next week. And earlier I kind of shared my origin story of how I met Stella, and I'll share a bit more next week. So thank you all, and have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
And also, please, all of you, if you want to start sharing the creative process of your own avatar here, of your own virtual personality here on the Arcadia channel, we will share a mystery box at the end of this series. So please just like stay tuned, and see you next week for episode number 2, or part 2 to this conversations. Thank you, Stella, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for participating so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, muchas gracias, Stella. Bye-bye.
De nada.
Yeah.
Thank you, bye.
Transhumanism.